10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes for the review of the Newcastle Arsenal game. Star-studded lineup in the background. And we've got Rito, all the way from TikTok. But first of all, before we get into the football stuff, just a massive, and John's going to hate this, congratulations to the European team who wiped the floor of the USA team in 2 days, decided to take yesterday off, and still won the Ryder Cup. I said to the missus, I'll be in bed in 2 hours' time. This is going to be a walkover. There's no way this is going to go to the last game. Jesus Christ. How wrong was I? And then he put my foot in my mouth. But we did it. We deserved it. And it doesn't matter about that half a point, about the game that got called off, because if we still give you guys an extra half a point, we still would have won it. So stop crying. And 2 years' time, we'll show you how to be respectful on a golf course. Right. Welcome. It was a shit game yesterday, wasn't it? Please like, share, subscribe, promote the channel. It's all free. Join from just 99p. Donate using the super chat in the bottom right-hand corner. All profits donated to selected charities. So what we do is we get big guests on. Reno's a big guest, to be fair, but he does it for free. But if we get like another big guest on, like a reporter or someone like that, we ask them what their charity is, and then we try and donate them some money. Please adhere to standard community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and enjoy the show. Evening, Gary. John's in the background waiting to come on as well. There he is. We got Gary, Leslie, Gary. And just to let you know where we're up to, £11,211.84 has been donated in the 3 years that we've been running this channel. So that's not too bad, is it? Not too shabby. Right, I'll bring my co-host in first.
Why? I wasn't ready yet.
You missed my rant.
I'm sorry, mate.
You missed my Ryder Cup rant.
No worries. No, I had a post-match celebratory pint with a player the other night. After
did you win?
After Monterey Bay won. Yep, 1-0. First win since July 11th.
Wow.
So big deal. But yeah, a couple of players came in, and I was having a pint with one of them, and he asked me. He said, "Are you following the Ryder Cup, Dan?" And I said, "No, but a good mate of mine is." And I said, "I know Deschambault is playing in it. Other than that, I assumed Rory McIlroy was in there somewhere. So
of course he was.
But yeah, so no, I haven't followed the Ryder Cup in decades, mate.
Because you got crap at it. That's why. Come on.
So
we took the day off yesterday and still won.
There you go.
Jack,
how you guys doing?
You're still wearing. It's not cold in Newcastle. You're wearing a jacket.
It's cold in my apartment sometimes.
There you go. All right.
It's cold.
Are you out in Tynemouth?
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Lauren.
Hi.
Hope you're feeling well.
Absolutely. I'm freezing. I've got the heating on, and I've got my dressing gown on.
Too early for that.
No, it's freezing.
It's
funny. You got to remember.
It's funny that Dan is the only one that doesn't have a jacket on.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why.
Because it's still hot and muggy here.
I know.
To be fair, Reno's probably been getting a hot under the collar when it comes to the football chat today because he's wearing a t-shirt.
There you go. Hey, Reno.
It's quite
Welcome
nice
back.
here in the south, actually.
Well,
it's 19 degrees centigrade, so we're okay at the moment.
I
There you
keep
go.
forgetting
Yeah.
Southern softies and all that. You know, they used to the warm
Absolutely.
weather down there. Do you know what I mean? It's rough and ready up here. Anyway, we are here to discuss the disappointing result for Newcastle, of course, yesterday. There's a
Triumphant result
lot
for Arsenal. You know,
for
let's
Arsenal.
be fair.
Yeah, let's not be fair. It was a tough pill to swallow. We've got a lot of stuff to go through, to be fair.
Yeah.
For obviously, we all know how the game went. We all know the action. So we've got so many talking points to go through. So what we're going to do is just going to dive right into them and get everyone's views as best as we can on them. And we've got to start off with probably the most split decision amongst all the fan bases is the penalty decision. So when it happened, Reno, in full flight, I was like, crap, down to 10 men, penalty given. There's no way that's not going to be overturned. And then you get to hear the VAR about saying he's got a touch on the ball, so it's going to be overturned. It does get overturned. The rules seem to change every week. I think you touched on this very well on TikTok. You did your video about it. Nobody seems to understand what the actual rule is, where VAR are meant to step in and not step in. It's meant to be a blatant, obvious mistake. Where do you stand on the penalty? Do you think it should have been overturned or still should have been given?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just explain very quickly, if I can. I am at this moment in time, and have been for a few years now, very anti-referee. And the reason for that is because I've seen over a number of years how they've changed the rules. And they're changing the rules so that now, whatever decision they make, it's never going to be wrong, because they actually have so many lines and words that they can make whatever decision is right. So let's talk about this penalty. Last year, Arsenal had a similar situation, if you remember, with Saliba, where he jumped up in the air with, what's his name from Brighton, João Pedro.
João Pedro, yeah.
And he heads the ball and he heads João Pedro's head, okay? And he's sent off and a penalty given. And Howard Webb, and it's all ridiculous. I don't know if any of you guys have played the game. I have played the game, and I have jumped up in the air many times, and my head has clashed with an opponent's head. It happens.
Yeah.
It's life. It's football.
Yeah.
Howard Webb, last year, when Saliba had a penalty and was sent off, he said, touch on the ball doesn't negate the possibility of awarding a penalty. There's still heavy contact on the player, and therefore a penalty can be given. So what I don't quite understand is that wording there says it doesn't matter if the player had the ball touch him. Yeah. If he touches the player who was coming forward, the attacking player coming forward, and he hits him or touches him, it's a penalty.
Can I ask a question, though? Is there an underlining because it's a goalkeeper and not a defender?
It doesn't matter. The goalkeeper's a player. And
yeah, but goalkeepers seem to be, what I mean is they seem to be protected a lot more. That the rules seem to be different for goalkeepers than what it does for outfield players. Because if a goalkeeper comes charging through a crowd and punches the ball, he's going to punch the ball first, but he's taken out about two attacking players at the same time. So surely that would then be given as a penalty.
It depends. It's just like if you're going up for a header, you can go up and, as Gabriel did for the goal, he went up between 2-3 players. He was stronger and bigger, went through them, headed it in the back of the net. The goalkeepers are protected, overprotected, but that's a one-on-one situation. And the goalkeeper comes running out and he absolutely touches our player. Now, I'm not saying whether it's a penalty or not. Okay, let's come back on this. What I'm arguing is you cannot have that wording for one incident and not have it for another incident. My argument is referees now will change the decisions according to who I believe they want to win. Now, that is very strong, and people don't like that, but I'm not the only one. Scott Parker was virtually kicked out of the job because he said something to the effect of the referee at that time. I can read the words out. Either has a massive ego or was cheating, and he lost his job because he said that. Now, I can't understand whether you think that's a penalty or not. I obviously would. You obviously won't. If I've read you what Howard Webb said last year, then I'm right.
Right.
Yeah. See, for me, the reason why it's not a penalty for me is because Nick Pope's come out and challenged. He's touched the ball, but he's also the ball's gone in a direction where it's going away from goal. So he's done his job for me. Nick Pope has saved the goal scoring opportunity, and yes, he's took out the player, but that's going to happen when you go through a player like that.
And
If
it's a 50-50 ball.
He went through the player. You're not allowed to go through the player.
Would that be given in the middle of a? Would that be given in the middle of a park and a red card to a midfielder if he did the same thing?
He would have maybe not got a red card or a yellow card, but he would have got a free kick.
Do you think, even though he got the ball? Because then a lot of people will be saying he got the ball though. Now I understand when a player goes over the top of the ball and like literally is out of control, then yes, I agree, because you've touched the ball but you've gone over the top of it and you're causing a dangerous situation to the opposition. So Nick Pope hasn't gone over the top of the ball. He hasn't caused any serious harm in danger. So to me, it's a fair tackle in a way. That's how I read it. And if that was also if that was in your box for you guys, I'd be saying the same thing because you got the ball.
I wouldn't. Honestly, there's a difference in dangerous play. And nowadays, you sneeze on a player, it falls over.
That's so true.
So come on. What I'm trying to get is consistency from referees. And
yes.
And we're not getting consistency. How can Saliba from a header where they jumped in the air? And so
to me
is, that was never a sending off and penalty for Saliba. I do believe this was. I'm sorry, but I do. I played the game.
I agree with the Saliba situation. It's definitely not a penalty. It's definitely not a sending off. All he's done is gone to win a header, just like Nick Pope's just gone to win the ball, and he does. So for me, if you get a touch on the ball, it should always not be a free kick, as long as you're not endangering the player. That's how I would view the rules and the laws. But like you said,
the ball was still in play.
And it was, and it deviated away from goal, didn't it?
Yeah, but what it did stop Gyökeres from maybe actually carrying on, pulling the ball back and having a shot at goal. It does stop him from attempting to score because he's being brought down. So look, we're never going to disagree because you're going to disagree and I'm going to disagree.
No, it's a healthy debate.
I find it difficult because I don't want to be one of these Arsenal supporters that is now saying referees are against us, but it is starting to look ominous.
Well, so if I may, Jared Gillett, who refereed the game yesterday, has now been involved with four games involving Arsenal so far this season. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Absolutely.
We're only 6 games into the season. How can he have been involved with 4 games involving Arsenal so far this season? That has to be looked at.
I'm not going to blame.
4 out of 6.
It's conspiracy, and everyone has a go at Arsenal supporters for this conspiracy nonsense. It's not nonsense. I've been to Arsenal for decades, and we've seen it over years and years. I've seen it over years. And frankly speaking, if it happens at Liverpool, there's all this big, massive fuss, and everybody comes down on the FA and the league. But with Arsenal, it happens so often now. It's starting to become a concern. And we could get into this north and south divide, which there is, let's be honest.
Well, there's a north-south divide, but then there's also the top 6 and the rest of the 14 divide as well, which we've been on the end of quite a few times. And we feel like we were on the end of that yesterday for some decisions as well. So, because you did get the rub of the green in some parts of the game, and we got the rub of the green in other parts of the game.
100%. 100%. Gabriel should have definitely got a yellow card.
We'll come to stuff like that. Yeah. We're going to come to stuff.
What I said in my group chat for my Saturday morning regulars, I said yesterday's discussion of the VAR situation for that particular call.
Yeah.
On stateside commentators, it was for me the clearest explanation of the VAR decision that's ever been given to an American audience. For me, I was sitting there going, okay, so it's a 50-50 challenge. Yorkiez is coming in. Pope is coming in. Pope has changed the trajectory of the ball. So he got to the ball, got the ball, squirted it clear play. At speed, there's no way that Pope is going to be able to pull out of that tackle. So Yorkiez goes over. The fact that he touched the ball first is the main explanation that was given to us, is that, look, ball was played first. The contact after the ball was incidental. Now, we can continue to argue that for the next hour. We've got lots more to discuss, but I'm just sitting there. I'm saying I had 3 Arsenal fans in our chat, and then me and 2 other Newcastle fans, and everyone. And then we had an Everton fan and some Spurs supporters to jump in. But everyone said, you know what? Not going to complain about that decision. You're absolutely right. There we go. But then we have another decision later in the game that we all get to argue about.
Yeah.
So,
hold on. You're missing the point that I'm saying.
yes.
What they've hit you with is what the referees, they've given you a definition of what the referees want you to, because they've made that decision.
Yep.
But if you go back to what Howard Webb said last year, and he's head of the referees, he's actually saying completely different. So that's where I'm coming from. You can't have it both ways.
No, agreed.
And I'm fed up with referees who now, because their statistics are going up, by the way, they never make wrong decisions. It's something like 90% of decisions they make are correct. Well, actually, that's the reason they're 90% correct, is because he gives it one week and says, oh, as long as he's touched and there's contact, it's a penalty. And if he doesn't, he says, oh, that's because he touches the ball. And that's what I am now so upset with referee, because I can see how referees are conning us all. And that's how deeply, not about the penalty, not what happened.
No, I absolutely get it. Yeah, I absolutely get it. But there is no argument in that. The referees are, I think, being protected by the PGMOL a lot now because of the wordings, the sub-wordings, the sub this, the sub that, this underlining. And it is very, very frustrating. And it's made the game we love to watch and to try and be non-biased on, which I think we are a lot at times when we do these shows. We know when we're being beat. Yeah. We know when we're not. But then when you see a decision like that, it makes it subjective, doesn't it? So you're going to say it's a penalty all day long, and your fan base is, because you want the penalty. And it looks like, because of the wording, it's a penalty. But then we go back to the normal rules, which is what it should be under. The goalkeeper got the ball. It's moved away from goal. His trajectory, where he's going, both striker and goalkeeper going towards each other, they can't get out of the way of each other. So you're obviously going to get a collision. So for us, it's not a penalty because the ball was hit first. But then again, you look at those sub, and that's why it's frustrating as any fan to be watching our game, because we feel like it's VAR is now took over and it's ruining it. It really is. So go on, John. You want to speak?
Well, my initial take was just like yours, Baz. It was like, oh, Jesus, a penalty. Oh, my God. That's what I thought. Then you see the replay, and I want to add something. Pope touched it first, redirected it, planted his foot. The Arsenal player actually went into him. So it's like, he was in the way, of course, because he's clearing the ball. So when you see it that way, you go, oh, we might have a chance. That's what I was thinking once I saw the replay, slow-mo and all that. But initially you're in the stadium, which I was. And we all went, oh, no.
Yeah, we all inhaled all at the same time.
And I want to agree on the point that Rhino made about the referee and the way it's handled by VAR and everything. I am 100% in agreement with that. I totally agree. I remember when VAR first came out and they were just starting to use it. Very controversial call in the first week. And they went to VAR, and the VAR guy was, I guess, interviewed or said something like, well, we weren't going to hang him out there after he made that decision. It's like that.
That's what you're there for.
VAR is supposed to correct errors. And you choose not to use it. So everybody used to say, get rid of VAR. I was always like, start fucking using it the right way. Sorry for the language.
I agree with you 100%. 100. Sorry, let you carry on.
There's another thing that you mentioned about Gyökeres was going into the goalkeeper. Now, did you watch the game beforehand, the Fulham game? And the player against Villa?
I have seen the game since. So,
and have you seen the dive over the goalkeeper, which looked like it was a blatant penalty, and the referee gave a yellow card to the striker for going down before he was touched?
I did.
I think that's what John's trying to initiate there. Was Gyökeres actually already on his way down before he got touched?
Well, no,
you see it all the time, though, don't you? You see strikers do. Harry Kane made just a living out of doing that. You know, he knows the contact's coming, so he starts to go down to make it less of a contact for his safety, but it's a penalty all day. So,
no, it was actually a pretty good collision. But Pope already had his foot planted, and they said that was part of the overruling it too. Was he's planted his foot, so so
he can't get it out of the way, basically.
Yeah, it's not like he tipped him off. You know, after he
Look, so I've heard that, and I've heard him saying the foot was planted. Sorry, guys. How many of you have actually played football?
Oh, yeah.
I know you have.
As a young guy.
Look, sorry, but I'm telling you now, I played a low level of semi-pro stuff, and there is, when you're playing football, there is that 0.000 point of a second where you know what you're going to do. You know it. Okay, you fall over, you take the foul. Nobody else knows whether you've done it on purpose, you've fouled somebody, you've kicked somebody, and you've gone, oh, I'm sorry. And you know you did it on purpose, but nobody else does. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
This planting of the foot is rubbish because Pope knows exactly what he's doing, and he's making sure that he's wide, okay, and that Gyökeres can't go round him, and he's going to make sure he touches Gyökeres. It wasn't a big bang. That guy knew exactly what he's doing. And I'm sorry, but that's coming from somebody. I've done it. And I've done it so many times. And I've gone to the referee. Oh, I'm sorry. He was too fast for me. Too fast for me. I've made sure that I've taken the guy. So I hate all this. His foot was planted on the floor. Another reason to try and show the referee is right. No, Pope knows exactly what he's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fall for that one as well. So I'm not. I just don't like how referees have covered themselves in everything.
It was quite a collision, though. It was,
and let's be fair. And someone's already said it in the comments. If there was no VAR, it was a penalty. Boom, done. That's it.
Yeah,
no VAR. Then it was penalty.
You don't have time to analyze it. It's just like. Boom.
No.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there the rule also that you're either going to be awarded a penalty or it's a red card? You can't have both.
The double jeopardy rule. I think it depends on the situation, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if a penalty had been awarded, Pope would have stayed on the pitch. Yeah. If Pope, however, was judged to have fouled the player, he would have been red carded and there would have been no penalty. So which would the more likely result have been without VAR's interruption?
Without VAR, it'll definitely be a penalty because the referee awarded the penalty, didn't he?
Yep.
So they got overturned.
But if we go over and look at the comments, Baz, we've lost control of this particular discussion. We've spent 20 minutes on this discussion, and there's a whole other discussion going on in the comments.
The comments can just carry on with their discussion because we are going to cover all that anyway.
Yeah.
Lauren, your thoughts on the penalty?
Initially, we were on the way back from the car show for the first. I think it was 20 minutes, 15 minutes. It was on the radio, and obviously when I heard penalty, I was like, "Oh man!" And then obviously we got home, and then obviously I watched it back and stuff. But by the sounds of it, it sounded like it was going to be a penalty. In my instant, I was just like, oh, no, here we go. I was like, oh. And then, obviously, once I watched it back and stuff, and I was like, I don't know. I agree with all of you. It's a very,
it's a
50-50 sort of thing. So
it's a subjective one, isn't it?
Yeah, but obviously as soon as we got back to Kieran's mum and dad's, the football was straight on, and we're watching it straight away. And I was in the middle of opening my presents for my birthday while watching the match, and then we scored and I had to stop.
Happy
So I was
birthday.
sort of like distracted while opening my presents. But no, yeah, I was a bit. If VAR wasn't a thing, then that definitely would have been a penalty.
There we go.
Happy
Right.
birthday.
Yeah.
Thank
Happy belated birthday, Lauren.
Mine was
yesterday.
Friday.
You didn't say anything.
I know I didn't.
And it's not in my calendar. How do I not know that?
You do now. Get it in your calendar.
I do now, exactly.
Well, now you got John and Lauren, end of September.
End of September.
That's naughty. Anyway, I thought this was quite funny. Caliph Roy ran all the way over, nicked Pope's towel, went to take a throw in, and the referee went, no, you can't do that. They did bring a rule in, didn't they? When was it Rory Delap used to do it all the time with Stoke? He used to have a towel. He used to have towels all over the ground, didn't he? So they actually banned towel use for drying the balls and things like that. You obviously
Use your kit like everyone else, you monk.
Yeah. I think he had a bit of a brain fart at that point, didn't he? And he was, but again, this is what I mean about people not understanding the rules and knowing them. How many Arsenal fans have we seen on Twitter going, "Why couldn't he use a towel? It's just a towel." It's just like, come on, guys.
I
Know the
honestly
rules.
thought
Look, we
I
know the
honestly
rules.
thought it was intentional.
No. I think we know the rules. I think what would no, I know the rules. I mean, we know that.
You do.
But
Some people on Twitter don't.
okay, no, I know. But look, on Twitter at this moment, so I'm getting so many trolls from. It doesn't matter anyway. But the only thing I will say about the incident, which was a joke, I accept, but I've actually seen other games played where the towels come up and players have used them. I have. I watch it on TV, but I've never seen. Tell me, have you ever seen a referee run all the way across, take the towel away, and have words with the player? Now, this is where we start to think Arsenal conspiracy theories. Are we the first ones that this happened to? Like last season, we had 2 players get sent off within the first 5 weeks because Rice kicked the ball 6 inches. I sat absolutely looking and thinking, the conspiracy come off because we are always the first team to get hit with these simple rules, and that's where our conspiracy theory, because that was a whole joke. The whole thing was a joke. The referee could have blown the whistle and said, "You didn't have
what
to."
What are you doing? Put it down there. He didn't have to make a big meal of it, did he?
I just laughed my head off. I was just like, I cannot believe.
Yeah. I mean, I was laughing and watching Calafiori going, "What do you mean by this, sir?"
Well, at the ground, the whole place was yelling at him as soon as he picked it up and started walking away.
Yeah.
So they called attention to it. I thought it was shithousery, and they were getting us back for all the various things that everybody blames Newcastle for. But and they really did a good job.
It cracked me up. It just made me laugh.
Saint Nick scores again.
Saint Nick, I love it.
That's his name. And it was a very well worked corner, which Arsenal decided to copy later on in the game, which we'll come to later on. But great cross. I mean, Saliba wants his backside kicking, doesn't he? Trying to pretend he was fouled because, I mean, come on. I've seen I've seen little kids get pushed worse than what he did and still stay standing. But great header into the bottom corner. We're all chuffed with Big Nick, aren't we?
Very much so. And
yeah.
Rummenigge went down in my estimation for his comments earlier about whoever paid the fee that they paid for Boltomato was an idiot. He went. I know. They offered 55 million euro. Stuttgart wanted 70 million euro. We ended up paying 90 million euro. So it was a fee to beat all fees, and that's just the way it is. But it wasn't 130 for a rat, and it wasn't 115 for Verts, and all of that good stuff. So you can laugh at us all you want. The fact of the matter is he's now scored 2 in the Lees' end, both from headers, when he's been openly criticized for being 6'6" and not using his head enough. Well, that we just put that to bed as well. no, I'm very happy. Very happy. I think Martin Mark, our set piece coach, has done a wonderful job. I think Tonali's ball was fantastic into Big Nick. So yeah, no, couldn't be happier with Nick's goal. And yes, seeing this coming up as I would like to see that more often this season. And two goals for the big man is good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying it's probably not going to be a great number 9 for us because he's not a number 9, he's a number 10, and I get that, but I think he started life very well on Tyneside, so I'm quite happy with that.
And Eddie was in the quotes yesterday saying he sees him as a 9, so it just smacks of incredulity at this point. Everybody's going, he's not a 9, he's not a 9, but we're going to use him. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. Reno, what have you made of our new record signing? Or
I love him.
You
I
like
love
him?
him. I think, forget the height, because as he gets older, he will get bigger, physically get bigger and physically stronger. So he's going to be, I like his touch. He has got a wonderful touch. And actually those feet are quite quick.
Yeah.
So, I just think he's special, actually. I think you've got somebody special if you can keep him. You'll keep him for the next 2, 3 years, and then people start coming from, like Isak, to be quite honest.
Everyone laughed at us when we signed Isak for the price. Everyone's laughing at us because of the price we paid for Baltimore, and he will be laughing in the end. Newcastle will be laughing in the end.
Well, we should have got Isak. We wouldn't pay the money for Isak. And that, let's get past that one. Sorry. Next.
We don't talk about the rat anymore.
I continue to say it, and because Reno said it, his touch is special. I keep calling him a 6'6" Peter Beardsley. Yeah. He's got fantastic touch. His first touch is exquisite. His ball control in close quarters is wonderful. Yeah. And for being 6'6", you don't normally get that kind of control from that. And the fact that he's only 23 is another thing. So I fully agree.
I thought he's 22. He's just turned 23, has he?
Yep.
I thought he was 22 as well.
Yeah, me too.
It's birthday week, you know that.
Oh, it's birthday week. There you go. So there you go. Yeah, it's everyone's birthday that we don't know about.
You get a birthday. You get a birthday. You get a birthday.
I don't need any more. Stop.
It's like sitting in Oprah's audience.
Terrible. Right. Now, this is where you got the rub of the green. I mean,
I'm going on mute for this one.
This was off the ball, nowhere near it, and he just runs into Voltemade, who's 6'6", as we've all mentioned. So to be able to get him in the face, you've got to potentially go for it. I mean, personally, I think that's a red card. I think Reno said it was a yellow, but I think it's a red. But it wasn't even looked at. That's the worst thing about it. And this I know you have. I've seen you dive away from the camera. I'll just show everyone he's ran it. But this is what winds me up, and I think this is what will wind Reno up as well. I don't think it's a red card. If he goes down holding his face, VAR sends him off. Gabriel is very lucky. How can you say this is Sky Sports, who get paid a hell of a lot of money, saying, well, if he goes down, then VAR are going to look at it, he's going to get sent off. But because he's a man and he stays on his feet and he brings it to the attention of the referee, it doesn't happen. And then Keith Hackett has said this is a punch which should have been sanctioned with a red card. So there's an ex-professional referee agreeing it should be a red card. So
I agree.
So is this conspiracy theory now going out the window a little bit, Reno? Because he should have been sent off and he wasn't.
I said it should have been a yellow card. I'm going to have 4. Listen, guys, you can use your words and I'll use mine. Listen, if he
we should expect that.
Yeah, of course you've got to. And I'll be quite honest, I'm on a little bit of glass here, so I'm not quite sure. Again, if he'd hurt him, if it was a punch, he would have hurt him. He didn't hurt him. It's handbags at dawn. There's no doubt there's anger, and he's gone up with his, and it wasn't a punch, it was actually his sort of, his forearm. And when you look at it in real time, it's not a punch. He's pushing him, really. Now, there's a difference between a real forearm smash forearm
Oh, yeah, of
smashes,
course there is.
you hurt someone, and a push. Because Gabriel's annoyed with him. Why? I don't know. Because he's just made us look like
Scored.
idiots.
Just scored. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And he wants to actually intimidate him. Let's put it that way. That's what centre halves try to do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
It was intentional.
Absolutely. He's jumped up. He's trying to intimidate him.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a real punch. I don't think it was a big forearm. I think it's more of a push, and it should have been a yellow. Now, I'm going to say that because I'm an Arsenal supporter, where you think that wasn't a penalty, and I think it was. I am never going to agree that is a red. I'm sorry.
For me,
I'm biased here, okay? I'm a bit biased.
I started laughing because when it happened, there was focus on our end. Just seeing Big Nick looking at Saliba, or was it Saliba? Yeah. And then going to the referee, Big Nick looking at Saliba, going, "Why did you do that? Why? There's no reason for that. Why?"
That was Gabriel.
It was Gabriel.
It was
Gabriel.
I couldn't stop laughing because in my head I could hear Big Nick's German accent. He's like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, you know what?
Denied the handshake as well. I'm not shaking your hand.
I thought it was a foul, but I also thought it was a little humorous because it's like, welcome to the Premier League,
Yeah, a little bit. But again, we'll have to go down that road. He was going into the player. There was intent. Doesn't matter how hard you hit the player. We've seen people put heads against heads and just move a little bit further forward. Red card straight away. It's putting hands on players in that area in your face. You're not allowed to do it. So
I agree. Look, okay, if we agree with that, do you not think Lascelles should have been? Do you not think Lascelles should have been sent off? So
there it is. I don't think he should have been sent up, but I think it should have been a free kick and it should have been looked at.
No. Hold on. You can't play the game here. He's gouging his face. You cannot put your.
He's digging his fingers into his cheek. You can see that.
Yeah, and it's going into his face and his eyes. You can.
He's just telling them to shut up. He's just telling them to shut up. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, all right. You see how you're playing the game now. I'll play the game with you. What? You can't have it both ways, guys.
Right.
To be fair, you're right. But the one thing I will say, and this is what I've said online, and a lot of people are forgetting.
Okay.
Your challenge was in the first half. You would have been down to 10 men. That changes the game completely.
Yeah. No, because we would have been 1-0 up because we should have had the penalty.
You'd be 1-0 up, but you'd be down to 10 men, and we wouldn't be having to hang on and all this other stuff might not have happened. Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's where I'm coming from. But that is wrong. To be fair.
Hey, Baz.
Absolutely.
Both of them.
Yeah, you're right. They both are, and that's why I can't stand referees.
Yeah.
Hey, Baz. I was sitting next to Ian. And I was looking at the game and I was saying, and Dan could probably appreciate this, is like, the ref is letting them play. I mean, he is not calling anything. I mean, I saw it as both sides. It was like, he's just not wanting to get involved in anything, Mm-hmm. He finally had to on a couple of them, but he was letting them play. And you see that in basketball a lot. It's like, oh, this is going to be a rough game, He didn't set the tone for sure at the beginning.
Sorry, I've lost a picture that I really want to show. Anyway, we'll go on to this next one. This one, screaming for handball, penalty. I mean,
I've seen them given.
Agreed. Yeah.
VAR looked at it and cleared it very, very quickly because his arm's in a natural position. He was trying to get out of the way rather than putting his hand towards the ball. He was trying to move out of the way. Didn't really stop a goal because Lascelles headed it off the line. But again, I could see why everyone was looking at it and going, that was cleared very quickly and should it have been. So, Dan, your views on that one? That one I missed, Baz, simply because I was in the car heading to the birthday party, so I didn't get to see it. I was listening to it on the radio. Right. Okay, so I haven't gotten to see that one. Yep. Ian, have you seen that one? Sorry, John.
Yeah, is that Bruno trying to?
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah.
It looked like. I mean, you just kind of gasp because you don't know how it's going to be called. It honestly looked like he was trying to get out of the way, but you never know.
Doesn't matter anymore. His hand. I'll be honest with you guys. I hate the handballs. As a player, two things. It's either accidental or on purpose. That is accidental. It shouldn't be. Okay, that's what I'm saying. However, his arm is at right angles. So I'm talking about the new rules now, the way they play football. So I don't think this was a pen, right? His arm is at right angles. Okay. It actually is going straight towards the goal. Forget Lascelles heads it because it touches his hand, which changes the direction of the ball. That ball, if it carried on straight, may have gone straight into the back of the net. So according to today's rules, if it stops the ball from going towards the goal, it's a penalty. I don't agree.
It's in an unnatural position. Would you class that as unnatural, what he's done?
Well, your arm at right angles. It's away from your body. So now that's where you get subjective. Okay. I'm telling you, I would never give a penalty for that. And I would hate it given against my team. But if you look at the rules now, how can you tell whether that is natural? How can you tell whether it's going to go in the back of the net? But according to, I've seen Arsenal have penalties given to them for less than that. And that's why I'm getting fed up with the referees. A handball is either on purpose, accidental or not accidental. Forget all this where the arms are, because your arms go in different directions when you're jumping to try to stop the ball from getting to the goal. Your arms go in unnatural positions. So, which
is why I thought it was a bit weird. It was cleared very, very quickly because it literally was a 2-second look and the referee just went play on. It's not given. So, but it would be very harsh if it was given.
Yeah, I agree.
Lauren, your thoughts on that handball? Is definitely not, or do you think it's subjective again, isn't it?
It's a tough one. By the photo, obviously, yes, his hand's there. Do you know what I mean?
Photos look bad, don't they? You can
photos. The photos do look bad. But no, I thought it was accidental as well because you can see, like on the photo, Bruno's right behind him, and obviously you can see he's trying to move away from it, but obviously Bruno's behind him, so he can't really go anywhere. So it does look accidental. I didn't see it because we were listening on the radio on the way back home. But by photos and stuff, it looks worse than what it is. But
photos do make things look really bad. Still pictures, and it makes
the still picture makes his leg look bad. Look at that again.
Oh, I've deleted it now. Sorry, mate. But yeah, I know what you mean. Right.
Again, I agree with Reno. It handball needs to be, is it ball to hand or is it hand to ball? If it's if the ball has bounced and hit the hand, that's accidental. That's not worth anything. If you're moving your hand to block the ball like Stephen Taylor did so many years ago, and then I'm sorry, that is blatant. This one, and that's why I'm sure the next thing we're going to discuss is the other handball.
I've got another thing.
Okay, all right, okay. Next, what's next?
So this is my rant.
Okay.
You're not going to say
there's
that
always a rant on this show, and it's always
no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that happens in football so regular it is starting to wind me up. Okay, Harry Kane made a living out of doing this, and I think it's one of the dirtiest things you can do on a football pitch.
Oh God!
And this is how Tino got injured. Players who go through people who are in the air. I hate this. A defender will jump up to head a ball, and the striker would lean into him to send him off balance. And when you come down, you don't know how you're going to land. You could land on your back, wind yourself. And unfortunately for Tino, he lands in a horrible position on his ankle and looks like he's twisted his knee. He could have done his ACL. Yeah. This needs to be eradicated from football, full stop for me. If you're in the air, a player shouldn't be allowed to back into you or take you out.
Or go through you.
Or go through you from the waist below because it is dangerous play. Now,
even
for
by
me,
that photo, it looks dangerous.
Exactly. For me, that should be an automatic sending off for anyone in football going forward, because it happens so many times. And I've seen so many players get injured. We've seen so many players. I don't know if you've ever seen the clips on TikTok where a player goes underneath someone and then realizes crap, he's in trouble, and catches him and stops him from landing on the
Yeah,
floor.
I've seen that.
This is just dirty for me, and I've never liked it. I don't like it, and I call it out even when a Newcastle player does it. Any other player does it. This needs to stop. But there's no rule for it, Reno, at all. There's no rule. You can do that whenever you want. You can back into a player, send them flying, and nothing's said. And I just think it's wrong. I really do.
I've done it many times.
Yeah, I just think it's wrong.
I mean, did you see the Sunderland game this weekend?
That's a horrible word.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am being trolled mercilessly by 3 or 4 Sunderland supporters. It's unbelievable. But it doesn't matter. Xhaka did it not quite like that, but you know when somebody jumps up and you bend down so they fall over you, and it's exactly what he did. And he bent down, and the guy went tumbling, and the rest of them play on.
That's the Harry Kane thing.
Yeah, absolutely done on purpose. And it's wonderful to do to somebody. I'm not being rude, as long as you don't hurt them. But you don't want to hurt. So I've done it a few times, not often actually. No, actually, I haven't done it that often because I used to be quite. No, I used to be quite dominant. I would go. I'm not the tallest of people, but I'd go in the air. I understand what you're saying. Let me ask you a question then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Saliba purposely went out to do that on purpose to hurt him?
I don't think he went out to hurt him, but I think he purposely went through him.
It was only a push. It was only a slight push.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. But it was only a push because he realised he couldn't get to the ball. He'd misjudged how far the guy was in front of him, where the ball was going to come. He couldn't get there. So what he was really trying to do was get there, put the guy off from either collecting it on his chest or laying it over Saliba's head to somebody running on. So it was a slight push.
It's a common thing when people go up for a header. If the guy's not going to be able to compete with it, they sort of lean on the guy. They don't really undercut him. They lean on him, and you see that quite often. But this one looked a bit harsh, and of course it really hurt us. But
it did.
Yeah.
I tell you now, when I first saw it, and what was the score at the time? Was it 1-0?
It was still 1-1, I think.
Was it 1-0?
No, it was 1-0, yeah, because we made the change to a back five, didn't we? Yeah.
And you know what? My first thought, and this, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be, my first thought was, good God, they've already started to try and waste time. I promise you that's what, because there was nothing in it. And I thought, here we go again, trying to waste time, blah, blah. And then when he went off the stretcher, I actually thought, and I did. I remember saying it to my grandson who was with me, saying, that looks worse than it was, and I shouldn't have said that. But I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it was one of those things. I am not sure. I haven't got an answer for you.
No,
I don't.
They never go to hurt the player, but I just think there is so much that could go wrong when a player's in the air. He's got no balance, and it only takes a slight knock, and you go flying. You lose your senses of where you are, and when you come down, you could put your arm down, you could break it.
It's jarring. It's Yep.
Oh God.
So that to me should just be wiped out of football. And if you're intentionally trying to put a player off by knocking him off balance when he's not on the floor and he can't protect himself, I think that's dirty. I really do, and I've always said it. And I've said it for years.
And like you said, Baz, I mean, Saliba wasn't even jumping for the ball. He wasn't going up for the header. He saw Livramento in the air and then went through him. So Reno, to your point, it may have been innocuous. It may not have done anything. But the fact is, he sent Tino off kilter, and the lad landed poorly and jarred whatever. Yeah, it was.
I get your point, and I may be agreeing with you. If you ask me, I'm starting. But okay, if I was Saliba now, and I'd realised, frankly speaking, if the rules are changed and I can't push the guy, whatever, and I realised I'm not going to get that ball, what I would basically do, I'm behind the guy, I would run faster and I would jump up as high as I could, so I'm in the air as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's gonna be a way around it somehow.
Yeah, it's the backing into players when they're in the air. That's what I want eradicated from the game. If you're stationary on the floor and you go through a player's legs when he's in the air, that should be eradicated. And it's been eradicated from rugby.
I was going to say rugby's done that.
So that tells you how dangerous it is.
I'm pretty sure there's a rule. There's a more blatant foul in basketball too if you undercut.
Yeah, I think you've got a good point there, and I'm not going to disagree. I'd like to think about it a bit more. Probably you're right if you really want to know. I'm thinking about it, and I think you're probably right.
Well,
if you get out jumped, go on. Sorry.
I was going to say the fact that it's been eradicated in rugby says it all to me.
Yeah. I think if you get out jumped, let's just say, for example, someone could jump 6 foot and someone jumps 4 foot and he's going into the player and he knocks him, that can't be helped because you've just been out jumped. But it's just when someone goes up in the air, there's someone stationed on the floor and he goes, well, he's going to win that header, I can't. So I'm just going to put him off by knocking into him. And then you send him flying. That's what I mean. That, someone stationary on the floor shouldn't touch somebody who's in the air. It's too dangerous.
And I've thought about it before, but you're right.
Yeah, mate, honestly, many years I keep saying it, especially when I see forwards backing into defenders when they're in the air, and it winds me up. So yeah,
Shearer's done it. And
I hated it when he did it. I hate it when he did it as well, because to me, you know what you're doing, you're being clever, and you're going to put that defender down. But the thing that they forget is how much you could be seriously putting them in trouble. Yeah. That's what winds me up with it. So there we go. That's my rant about that. So we'll come on to the handball. Pictures make it look worse, as always. I'll tell you why I'm a little bit wound up by this handball. Is because how does the referee see the deflection? Because we've had to slow it down and watch a lot of replays to determine that there was a deflection there. So surely the referee should have given that as a penalty, then VAR should have overturned it. Now, I saw it from behind the goal, and you can't see a deflection behind the goal. And it's the minimest of touches, it must be, because the ball doesn't really change direction that much. So I'm 50-50 on it, because I don't know if there is a deflection or not, but it's too close to tell. Yeah, so as soon as the referee says no penalty, VAR can't overturn it because there's not enough evidence to overturn it. But if the referee is given the penalty, is there enough evidence to overturn that as a deflection and then give it not as a penalty? There's the subjectiveness.
This was one that I had a chance to sit and watch because we had arrived at the party, and I was able to go over and watch the rest of the game on my phone. I said as soon as I saw it, I said, if this is given, it's harsh. If it's given, it's harsh, because I've seen it. I've been on the other end. Our teams that I've supported have been on the other end of this one many, many times. But I'm sitting there going, as a former defender, I challenge anybody, go sliding in with your hands in your pockets. You don't do that. Your arms are where your arms are because you're trying to brace yourself for impact with the ground. You're trying to. I'm sorry, but I cannot say when you're sliding in the penalty box that any of this is in an unnatural position, because I am sliding in and I'm bracing myself for impact. I can't tell you where my arms are going to be when I'm bracing myself for impact because I'm in the midst of a slide. So as soon as I saw it and everybody was howling for handball, I said, if it's given, I think that's harsh, because you're as a defender, you're not going to go sliding in with your hands in your pockets. That's unnatural. Sorry.
I really appreciate Dan giving us insight into his what he does at a party. He goes off in the corner and watches our games.
It was
not like that. He waves his hands around.
Hey guys.
It was my nephew's first birthday. He didn't know I was even there, and everybody at the party said, Dan is, how much Dan loves his nephew by the fact that he actually showed up to the party while the game was still playing. So everybody forgave me. Everybody was fawning over the young man. I just went over and sat at a picnic table. That's all.
That's funny.
No biggie.
Right, very quickly, Lauren, because I know you need to go. What do you think of that decision?
Yeah, I think it's the same as the last one, really. I agree with Dan, to be honest. Personally, I was a midfielder. I wasn't a defender. So, but yeah, like, I agree. Like, you're not going to go in with a tackle with your hands in your pockets because you do need to brace for impact. Like, my old friends, obviously one of my friends, she was a defender. And even when she used to go in for the slide tackles or she used to go in for the tackles, you can't help what's going on with your hands. And she even said, like, when she used to go for tackles and stuff, like, yes, you've got to try and control your hands, but you can't help it if you're going to go tackle the ball because you do need your hands for protection. Because if you don't, you're going to injure yourself. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree. You can't help it at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? You can't. If you're going to tackle, just brace for impact. I completely agree with Dan.
Fair play. Thanks for coming on, Lauren.
No bother. Thanks for having us. I'm
Enjoy
sorry I've
the
got to
rest
cut
of
it
your
short, but
It's fine.
I'm going to have food and go to bed. But thanks for
Happy
having us
belated
anyways.
birthday, my dear.
Thank
Oh,
you so
I'm glad you're
much.
feeling
See you
well.
later.
Good night. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Right. The one thing I will say about this is that an unnatural position because he's used his right arm to brace for impact because he's on the floor. So should it really be that high in the air? I don't know. But Reno, obviously, was there a touch though? Did it deflect or not? That's the big question.
My 100% instinct at the time, straight away. So this isn't me being biased.
No.
This is me being honest. Straight away, it happened, and I went, deflection. Surely he's not going to give the penalty. But we're at Newcastle. He's going to give the penalty. But my first reaction was it deflected off him, and I hate that because I think it's so unfair when a ball's hit one part of your body and it's then hit your hand. So my first reaction was actually it was a deflection. Why I say I saw that and everyone else says they didn't, I don't know. Okay, and I haven't got great eyesight. I thought straight away it was deflection, but I thought the penalty he was going to give. But if he had done, then that would have been, we would have gone back to the Bruno scenario again.
Yes.
And, and I think, as you just said earlier, it is whether it's intent or not intent. And I don't think when you're diving down, whoever you are, your arms do flay back. We've all done it. Yeah. So I don't think it was a pen, honestly. I think if that was, then the Bruno one was. That's how I feel, really. Neither were.
The other thing for me is that it's hit that hard. The proximity should also come into play, but they said on Sky that it doesn't. But for me, how is he going to get his hand out the way? It's impossible. It's like he's literally half a yard away and he smashed it into his arm. Yeah. Now, had Alanga been a bit more clever, had he tried to dink the ball over the top of Gabriel instead of smashing it across, because he's already committed. If he tried to dink it over him and he slid and knocked the ball away, 100% apparently. And that's what Alanga should have done. So I really blame Alanga for taking the wrong option, to be fair. No, honestly, for me, if you're an intelligent footballer, you see him sliding across, you know he's done it, he's right in front of you, you've just got to dink that ball over the top of him and then you're through on goal. And that's how I would have played that situation personally.
I don't think Alanga's that sort of player, though, is he?
Yeah, probably not.
He's speedy, direct. I don't think...
It's also hard to slow the game down. It goes bam, bam.
He's also 23 years old. He's going to learn finesse as he gets older. He's gonna add that part to his arsenal.
That's what makes a great player. The one thing that makes and I wish I'd learnt this when I was younger. When you're in front of goal, those great players can hold the adrenaline. They slow the body down. That adrenaline slows down, but their body moves fast, and they can see what to do with the ball. That's what great players do. I wish I could have. And that's what Alanga can't.
Because it was shown on social media so many times this past weekend, because it was the Arsenal match. We got replays over here on social media. We saw replays of the 4-4 comeback. We saw this, but the one that always, and because Reno just said that, the one that always comes to mind is Bergkamp's goal against with Davi Zas. There was a phenomenal player who, in the speed of the game, he slowed down time. It was like watching The Matrix. I was just still to this day, I cannot understand how he dinked the ball the way he did. Completely went around Davi Zas and scored with the same foot. You would have thought he would put it in with his left foot, but he didn't.
Yeah.
It was.
Can I just say on that goal, it was a foul.
Oh no! For the Bergkamp goal.
Elbow in the side of the head.
Okay.
Watch it again. Watch it again. He fouls him. To be fair, when it happened, I was actually at the game, and I actually stood up and applauded because the goal was that good.
The goal was that good, but yeah.
But when you watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it, you still love the goal, but then you think, "Is that not a foul?"
Yeah, Baz, that's 20 years of hindsight there, mate. Come on.
I know.
That's part of the game, and I'm afraid to say the game is becoming. I don't want to say the word too soft.
It's becoming a non-contact sport, and that's the sad thing. If you go back and look at matches, I was showing my father-in-law the comeback, the 4-4 comeback.
Sorry, yeah.
He went back and looked. I mean, I was in the family at the time. That's not all that long ago. But you're sitting there going, the speed of the game 12 years ago. And then you go back and look at the matches when Ginola and Ferdinand and David Batty, you look at those sides, the entertainer side. The speed of the match was so much faster. And the shit they got away with, David Batty holding Nicky Butt by the throat. I mean, it would have, absolutely.
Can I throw one in? Joe Bartman, I think we were 4-0 up or something. He just went up and kicked us off the park, and
he did.
It was like, what were the referee doing then? It was like, I remember thinking, what is going on here?
The free kick that led to the Tiote Wonderbolt. You watch Joey Barton. He looked at Rosicki and he knew exactly where he was going to be. He was just like, I'm just going to stand right here, and Rosicki's going to bump into me, and I'm just going to go over like a sack of potatoes, and that's what he did. But it worked, and it led to that fantastic goal. Just to this day, that goal makes me cry with joy every time I see that goal, because the elation on Czech Tiote's face was just something else.
Ran the length of the pitch as well to celebrate.
Indeed, and then Stephen Harper with the elbow,
the people's elbow.
Yeah.
Just Paul, big question. No, the rule didn't change. The rule was already the rule. So that Tino Livramento penalty given against us at PSG should never have happened. It was a massive oversight from the officials. Yeah. And again, is it a conspiracy theory because we were going to knock PSG out of the Champions League, and the powers that be didn't want that to happen? So that was a horrible decision. Horrible, because it came off his thigh.
It's all money.
But I'm just gonna say it this right. I'm gonna say it right now. Jared Gillette should not be involved in an Arsenal game between now and Christmas. I feel for Reno, because there's just, I don't know how that possibly could happen. I don't know how one referee could be involved in 4 games with one club. In the first 6 weeks of a season.
Well, if you look at Newcastle last season, was it last season or season before? Didn't they complain about a referee who was going to ref or VAR another match for a team? It was season before last, because they were fighting relegation. And they said they didn't want a certain referee in the VAR of another match because he supported a team that they were fighting for relegation. And
something like Burnley or something like that.
I can't remember which one.
I remember that.
But in fact, the league didn't change that referee. They won that game. Forest were fuming, absolutely made a complaint in writing and the newspapers, and Forest were fined £100,000 for complaining. That's where we've all got, seriously, referees in the league. There's corruption there now, and I'm seeing it. And I'm not talking about Arsenal here. I'm just seeing.
No, you're talking about general,
Yeah, there's something absolute. Look at Barcelona. You know, we go back a few years, they've paid €7 million to an organisation which is run by a referee, and they could not find where that €7 million had gone to. And it went to court for fraud. And then they said, what they did, eventually, it was for consultation. Sorry.
No, you carry on.
Oh, it was for they said the €7 million was paid to this chap for consultation on referees, because it's always good. Have you not read this up?
No,
you should read it up.
That,
it's unbelievable. And so they wanted him to explain to them the weaknesses and the strengths and the reactions and the psychology of referees that they were playing against. Come on. And it was during those years they were winning the European Cup. It just, you know, and FIFA came out. Yeah, they came out with I can't remember, I've written it down somewhere in the past. It's one of the worst cases of fraud they've ever come across. And then 6 months later, they said, "Oh no, it couldn't be proven. It was wrong. We retract everything we said."
There's another 7 million sitting somewhere in someone's bank account to make that decision.
Well, referees bank account. Referees. And
well,
that's why. Sorry, guys.
The thing for me now, right? The PGMOL, right? They're a separate organisation to football. They're the company that the Premier League use to get the referees to referee English football.
Yep.
Is it now a time for all clubs to now start suing the PGMOL for bad decisions because it's costing the clubs money? Or is it in the rules somewhere that they're not allowed?
They can't. They get fined. Look at Forest. They're not allowed to complain. Look, I'm going to tell you. I'm not.
That's what I mean. Is it in the rules to say that as a football club, if you get relegated, you cannot make a substantial claim towards the PGMOL for poor refereeing, poor standards?
Look, guys, I'm not going to say this guy's name, but this is somebody I've had dinner with more than one occasion. He's getting on a bit now. Ex-pro, ex-England player. Okay. And we're online here, so I've got to be careful what I say. But you would know him just like that. Yeah. Big name, big international England player. He got involved. This is some years ago.
It's Gordon Banks, guys.
It wasn't Gordon Banks, I can assure you. Later than Gordon Banks.
David Seaman.
I'm not going to carry on. Not an Arsenal player.
Let's go.
But he got involved with the Football Association and the Players Association, and he said to me, and he wouldn't tell me much because he's a very quiet guy and was very careful what he said. But he said the most difficult conversations he ever had were with referees association. He said they don't compromise. They won't even talk to you about certain things. He said they're the most difficult people to talk to out of all the organisations. What does that say? They've got. Do you know how much referees get paid?
Yeah, isn't it $100,000 a year or something like that?
It's more than that. The Premier League referees get between, I think it's something like 120 to about £180,000. On top of that, they sign an annual fee of £30,000. They get for every single game. They get £1,500, and they get all expenses paid.
It's covered, hotels, car travel.
And then they have and then they have sponsorships.
Oh, do they?
Oliver, yeah, of course they do. The boots they wear, for instance. Oliver is on around £500,000 a year when you look at him. And it's that's why they won't open the doors up to anybody else. The one thing to change things is they won't have it. Take ex-semi-pros, who know the game. They retire at the age of around 33. They know the rule. They know the game. The rules of the game they can learn better, and give them fast tracks.
Yep. Agreed.
They won't do it. Referees have had that, and they say no. Professional. There's not enough money in it for professional footballers to do it. No. Forget. Take ex-pros who have got jobs in line with their games, so they play 2 games a week, train once, twice a week, and still do a job. They have got it all in line. They could do that. Referees won't have that because it stops them from coming through. Look, we know, and I know a Premier League referee. No, I don't. Don't lie, Reno. Never lie. Don't exaggerate. I have a family member who meets a Premier referee every week to do something. Nothing to do with the Ryder Cup. Get the picture? And that guy, the things he tells us about referees and how they're controlling things. And because he comes from down south, this referee, it is controlled. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if you aren't like this. It's controlled by a little group of northern referees who try to get their mates involved. And it's appalling what's happening. So these are things that the public don't know, because nobody wants to say it because they're scared they're going to get kicked out. It's a job for the boys, mate. It is serious.
For me, it goes back to, again, Howard Webb is the head of the organization. But if you go back and you know, Baz, you've tweeted out Keith Hackett. Keith Hackett has been on the show, is he not?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's talking about the PGMOL.
So the fact that the Nick Pope Yorkies incident, you know, in yesterday's match, the fact that Keith Hackett has come out, Dermot Gallagher has come out, and they're all different views. I mean, they're all over the place. They can't agree on anything. Illustrates to me that there is no consistency. There can't be any consistency because each of these referees are being allowed to use their own interpretation of the rules. You know, if Keith Hackett says that yesterday's incident was not a penalty, but Dermot Gallagher says it was, or vice versa. If Hackett says it was, and Dermot Gallagher was on Sky Sports saying it was not, Jay Boothroyd was having a mental breakdown because he said it absolutely was, but he's a former forward. Of course he's going to say it was a penalty, but you know, Dermot Gallagher is sitting there shaking his head going, it wasn't. You know, there's no consistency. Again, it just boggles the mind. That's why I think Mark Clattenburg finally just said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. He's not doing anything with it anymore. They still ask him, they still use him as an expert on panels and stuff, but he said, when I was doing games, that's it. You know, the inconsistency is just the thing that drives every fan nuts. Yeah,
absolutely. And we've touched on it a lot. Right, let's quickly look at player ratings. Where was the game won? For Newcastle, obviously, the game was lost in midfield. Bruno and Joe Linton, for me, were very poor for their standards for this sort of game. And unfortunately, if you drop your levels at any time against an Arsenal or Liverpool or anything like that, you're going to get punished.
Baz, I was really surprised that both of them played the whole match at Bradford
on Wednesday. Yeah, me too.
Oh, my God. I thought pulled both of them off at halftime, you know. But,
exactly. Why they played 90 minutes, I do not know. And they shouldn't be tired because they didn't play against Bournemouth, but it's still going to have an effect if you're playing Wednesday, Sunday.
Yeah, 3-4 days later,
Yeah, they didn't need to. That was the really angry thing about it.
Yeah.
Tonali was brilliant. Voldemort was excellent. Gordon, average. Murphy, average as well. You know, unfortunately, Chow, by the way, had a much better game than a 6.7.
Agreed.
I agree. Chow was an 8. He was crazy good. He kept it together.
Yeah, Nick Pope was stunning until he kicked the ball out right at the last minute when he didn't need to, and then we conceded the winner. What was he thinking? Because he pulled off some unbelievable saves.
Well, and for me, his approach to that corner kick was poor. You know, he had so many players in front of him. There was no reason for him to try and get in there to punch the ball. You know, he should have been guarding that near post.
I don't think he saves it regardless, to be honest with you. But I think he should have been stronger. I don't think he got the flight of the ball right. The one thing I will say is that there's a few people in our group, and I'm not going to name them, they said he should have saved the first goal, the header from Mikel Merino. And I'm like, there's no way Nick Pope was getting absolutely anywhere near that. The ball literally landed on the post and then went in. There's no goalkeeper on this earth saving that header. It was a great
header. He's not making a dive on that shoulder.
Well, he dived on it enough through the game, to be fair. He pulled off some great saves, but he was never getting anywhere near it. And there was, it was that close proximity as well. stupid thing. But there we go. I mean, this is where the game was won for Arsenal. Declan Rice was fantastic.
He was superb.
Yeah. Gabriel obviously has a good game, even though personally I think he should have been sent off in the first half. But Eze, I thought, was better on the eye than what he was stats-wise. I thought we handled Saka very, very well, and maybe that's why our attacking side was let down, because we were too busy trying to monitor what they were going to be doing. Trossard was unlucky when he hit the post, because that was a great move, by the way, Reno, the one when Trossard hit the post. That was a fabulous sweeping move.
Yeah.
You know, and when it comes to the end of the day, we tried to go to a back five to hold on to what we had. We couldn't. Arsenal were the team in the ascendancy and pushed and pushed and pushed and got their reward. So on the balance of the play, not the refereeing decisions and VAR and all that sort of stuff, Arsenal deserved to win the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did.
Better
team, and they were aggressive. It wasn't just the skill that they have and why they're up there in the second place all the time. It's like they were actually aggressive and played a little rough. Good all-around game for them.
Yeah, someone said to me on Twitter, and I agreed with them. They said something like, you should be used to all these nasty challenges going in, because we've had to deal it for 2 years, expecting the referee to do something about it. He never has. So we took it into our own hands yesterday and decided to be nasty as well, and we beat you. Fair play. Can't argue against that.
I think if you look at our defence, and that's what we're all talking about, look at the size of them now. Calafiore is a centre half. You know, Masquera, who came on, is actually a good player. You know, that one mistake. They're all, our back four are big boys. Rice is not a small chap. You know, we've got a big team. And I think we physically now we're strong enough to compete, let's say, with people like Joe Linton and Bruno, who I think is a great player, don't get me wrong, but he's a naughty little player. He is a naughty player.
He has his moments.
I'm surprised. I thought I was looking forward to your three midfield players against ours, because I rate our players, but we're not quite sure how Zupimendi was going to how that was going to work in Newcastle, you know, with all that physicality. And I just think what it was is technique. You're talking about the physicality. I actually think that technically our midfield with Zupimendi there was better than the technicality of your three. I don't think really Bruno had a good game.
He didn't.
And the guy that I don't rate, and all you Newcastle boys smash me when I say this.
Go on.
Murphy. He runs and he runs and he dribbles and he runs. His end product, I always see as he had one opportunity there. I thought he was going to score and he screwed up. I think his end product is rubbish. And it doesn't matter how many times, how far you run, how quick you are, how many people you dribble around. Your end
He
product
doesn't do that, does he? He doesn't dribble around anyone either. No. I am completely in agreement with you, and I get hammered for it all the time, because he's a nice guy. He's a decent squad player. Yeah. But would he get into a top 6 team? No. And I know he had a great season last season. He did get up to 19 goals and assists, whatever it was.
And that's because he was me with.
But he was feeding Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the reason why you got them all. Now you take, and this is what we said to Liverpool fans: you bought the phone, but you haven't bought the charger.
Right. Yeah.
They two work really well together. Now they're gone.
Have you seen the meme? Have you seen the meme where Jacob Murphy has apparently taken out a restraining order against Isak because he keeps bugging him, saying he needs to come to Liverpool to provide the assists that Mo Salah won't.
I love it. But this is the thing. Without Murphy, Isak has no goals. He has goals, but not that many. But Murphy now
not served up on a platter like he did. Yep.
Yeah, and I look at our players, and I always look to whether they'll get into a top 6 team. If they don't, they're not good enough where we want to go. But they're good enough right now because we still can't spend what we want to spend to get where we want to be. That's the issue. But then, everyone hammers me for saying Asula's not good enough. I don't think he is. I don't think he ever will be, Because if I'm looking at Asula now at 22 and looking at Voldemort, who's 23, I'm thinking, come on, there's a massive quality difference going on here. And you both played in the same competition, and now you're both at the same club, and one starting over the other, and there's a big reason why one got a big fee and the other one was nearly sold. Asula, again, is like Murphy, someone who will try really hard, who will run into the ground for the club, but his quality will always be short. And that's just my opinion on him. And I get hammered for that one. So there you go. Arsenal were up for that. Yeah, Arsenal were up for the game.
They were, no doubt.
Yeah, it's fair play to them.
Yeah,
You never know. This could be your year, you know.
Honestly, I've done my predictions for the whole league, and I've done a blog, and I was being a bit conservative.
Second.
We come second again. But if you really want to know, my heart says the only reason we won't win it is because I think, and again, it's this conspiracy theory. I don't want to get on it, but we're here. I'm talking to you guys. I'm not going to put this up live. I really do believe that there is this, I don't want to say conspiracy, a dislike and a bias to, or a prejudice for Liverpool. Everybody.
Oh, I think we all agree with that one.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
no doubt.
they want Liverpool to do well and win. They're the jewel of the crown in England, as well as Man United.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Arsenal.
watch out. Watch out when you play Man United. Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe, you know, let's put it this way: do we believe you can be prejudiced against something? Well, of course
Yeah.
you can. You know, we have to accept now. We're all thrown down our throats. This isn't getting political or whatever, but there is racial bias. There is it, and it's there, and we know it is. And psychologists will say it's there, and regretfully, without actually accepting it's there, it is. If you don't think there is this biasness within referees when they're refereeing a game, an unconscious racism, that's the word.
Okay.
There is an unconscious bias towards certain clubs. And regretfully, you can see it's come back from the 1920s. I don't want to go, but we know about the 1920s. Arsenal were the first London club to join the National League. We were the first London club, Southern club, to win the league title. And we did that. We did what Man City and Chelsea did. We spent all this money, bought a great manager, bought lots of players, and Liverpool and Man United hated us for that. Yeah. And that has not finished because that went all the way through to the 30s, to the Second World War, which stopped it all. And that bias and that prejudice has not died for Arsenal from the Liverpool and Man United of the world, I'm afraid. And it's just carried on. And you know what it does? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and grows. Yeah. And I don't think that bias actually, you know, whether you accept it's there or not, I believe it's still there. And you can see it in the press, see it in the media, see it sometimes in refereeing. You know, we've got to fight through it, but I believe unconscious bias is there. Sorry, guys, I've gone on a rant. I've done what you've done.
We don't rule Man City out. Is Asula still the highest scorer now that Voldemort has got 2? Hasn't Asula's got 3? Yeah, but he's only got 1 in the league. I'm not counting 2 against Bradford. That was the Carabao Cup. Voldemort has got 2 league goals, so he's our highest goal scorer in the Premier League.
And can we just say, you know, Joe Linton and Asula both had wonderful games against Bradford City.
They did.
We plucked the chickens, so to speak.
Oh yeah,
it was job done.
Job done.
To be honest with you, Baz, I understand your feelings about Asula. I have different feelings because I think the only thing he needs to work on is getting that ball to stick to his feet like Isak used to do. He's got the speed, he's got the energy,
he's got the power.
It's just he doesn't always have the connectivity with the ball. But that was the first time he got good minutes in a Premier League game. He usually comes in 5 minutes. You know, he got like 25, something like that.
What did he do?
I'm sorry?
What did he do in those 25 minutes?
We went to a back 5, Baz.
Hey, let me ask you something. Who
Great
did
players
anything?
make things out of nothing.
Who did anything in the top 3 in our forward 3? Just Voltamata.
Just Voltamata, yeah.
I am right now salivating at the prospect of getting Wissa back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't wait to see what he does in our side. And put away all the arguments about how we got him and how that compares to the rat and all this. That I don't have time for it. I don't care. We got the players we got. Let's get on with it. I just want to see what that young man will be. And I say young man, I have to be in comparison to me, I guess. I'm just excited to see what that player can do in our side.
I agree.
Give it service from Barnes, service from Gordon, service from Elanga, service from Murphy. Let's see what that service from Voltamata. Let's see what happens there. So
currently,
and again, it's going to push Eddie Howe into a change. Yeah.
Currently, when Voltamata gets the ball, two people are on him right away. They collapse on him, and you might not think about doing that if Whistler's out there.
Not the one.
Be another weapon out there.
Yeah, I always say that great players make space for other players just by occupying defenders. This is the always thing that I always had a really issue with Alan Saint-Maximin when he was here.
Yeah.
He would attract 2-3 players over to him because they knew he was our only decent player. But if he's attracting 3 players, how much space is there on the other side of the pitch and everywhere else?
I'm sure it drove Eddie crazy because it drove all of us crazy.
Yeah. You're more dangerous without the ball sometimes than you are with it.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see great players sometimes. They know when to be in the right areas at the right time and when to give the ball and keep the ball and all that sort of stuff. So Sula's not that. There we go. Anyway, it's been a great chat. Reno, thank you so much for coming on. Sorry for keeping you so long.
Reno, great to see you again, mate.
I'm sorry I got on the soapbox, boys. I did a little bit there. I should have.
Well entitled as an Arsenal fan, my friend.
And I'm sorry. I read your name. I thought it was Rhino.
You're not the first one to call me
Reno.
It's Reno.
Reno, nice to meet you.
Can I just ask you all just one question?
Of course.
Sure.
Don't answer it. Think about it first. Okay. Where do you think Newcastle are going to come in the league in the end? Don't say it. All think about it so you don't copy each other. Okay. Where do you think Newcastle will be in the league at the end of the season? Bang.
Right. I will message you all 3 responses tomorrow on TikTok.
Okay. You got my predictions. I think give it a week. You will start doing that. I think you got a good team there, guys.
I do too.
Really.
Right.
Thanks very much indeed.
Games
so we played tough games. So there we go.
We've played 2 of the top 6 in the last 6 games. So I mean,
I just seen somebody put one place above Arsenal.
I know.
Look,
hey, we can dream.
Guy. You are going to come 6th, which is 6 behind us. How's that? We're going to win it. Good luck, guys. Anyway,
definitely. Thank you for coming on. Thanks to you guys as well. We're back tomorrow night with Martin from Mancunian Way for the Oil Brothers show. So tune in for that. Really looking forward just to talking about crap, basically, about all the Football League. Take care, everyone, and cheers, up Europe. Up Europe.
Let's go.
Yeah, we got it. Cheers, guys.